What's going on? It's Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. Tonight, we're talking about a defensive lineman from the University of Alabama. There's plenty to choose from. There's plenty of guys to highlight. But we are talking about LT Overton. Now, I'm sure you watched that beatdown up in Wisconsin. LT Overton, in my opinion, had the hit of the season so far for the Crimson Tide when he got that quarterback. Here's how the stats look through 3 games. My goodness, he has a grade overall of 86.5, but let's start up top. 4 tackles, a grade of 78 in 30 snaps against Western Kentucky. 4 quarterback pressures against South Florida. 6 tackles, 1 sack, 1 forced fumble, 1 pass breakup. On the season, he has 11 tackles, 4 pressures, an overall grade, as mentioned, 86.5. Earlier this summer, Kane Womack said he's a 285-pound ass kicker. Earlier this week, Kane Womack was asked about LT Overton on 2 different occasions. Here's the first soundbite.
Yeah, I think when you go back and you watch the tape, it's impressive to see how dominant LT was in that game. He continues to show up. He's a tremendous on-body rusher, as I've talked about, first and second down transition pass rush. Does a really great job in that regard. Very physical at the point of attack. There was a play where they tried to run a power concept when they were kind of backed up in their territory, and they ran power at him, and he really was dominating on 2 different blocks. He at the point of attack off of a tight end, and then somebody coming back across to be able to kick him out, and he kind of knocks that guy out too, and then makes the play in the backfield. So he just continues to show up from a level of physicality. He plays with a tremendous high motor, and he is very efficient and effective in terms of what we're doing schematically right now. So very pleased with LT, and excited to see what he will continue to grow and produce in our defense.
Now, as mentioned, there's plenty of guys to highlight from Alabama's defensive line or even the wolf position. But today we're talking about LT Overton. But let's look at that bandit position this year for the Crimson Tide. And here you can see the snap counts of the players that have played for Alabama. You got Jamarian Lathan, who's played at the bandit position in 54 snaps. He has a grade of 55.9. LT Overton, as mentioned, in 98 snaps, absolutely having a great season. We talked about Keon Keeley, and where is Keon Keeley? I don't have that answer for you. That is something that we continue to keep tabs on. Maybe it's just that he's not getting on the field because LT Overton is eaten, and same thing with Jamarian Lathan. You also have Jordan Renard up in the room. He's played in 24 snaps. When you look at what LT Overton brings, you have a player with speed, with size, an ability for that bandit position to really get pressure on the quarterback in this swarm defense. Coach Kane Womack was asked about what he looks for in that bandit position. He continues another soundbite clip talking about LT Overton.
Hate to end on a redundant note, but on LT Overton, Coach DeBoer really stressed how well he fits within the system.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if you could speak to that, and is there sort of an NFL comparison in terms of traits that you look for in that position specifically?
Well, the field defensive end is a very critical position, for us. When you play a 3-4 nickel 4-2-5 scheme, you really runs to the field. It's important that you have somebody that is a presence, right, when they want to build a 3-man surface, meaning that they want to have a tight end blocking scheme to the field side, being able to really dominate those one-on-one matchups on a tight end to make it hard to run in that C-B gap area to the field as well. And then their ability to transition pass rush, right? You have to have guys that are physical enough in the run, but on first and second down, before we can get maybe another a rush personnel group out there on the field that can transition pass rush. And that's why I talk about LT being such a great on-body rusher. He does a really great job of transitioning from a run fit to a pass responsibility. I don't know if you saw how I did that right there, but doesn't look as good as LT. But just to be able to transition pass rush and his ability to create havoc in the backfield on first and second down, I think is really important for us as a defense structurally. But even when you look at teams in the NFL, it's really the same matchup. And there's a fine line of playing the run fit and then stopping the run on the way to the pass. And I think we're doing a really good job with both LT and Jamarian Latham from that field bandit position.
Hey, fam, as always, we want to hear from you inside the comment box. We love your feedback. When you look at the transfers that have come into Alabama that are playing this season, looks like LT Overton is performing at a very high level. Same thing with Keon Sabb, right? You see these transfers come in, and they've been very impactful. And I'm just talking about 2 transfers on the defensive side of the ball. I mean, there's plenty of guys that are playing all over the place, but it is impressive to see LT playing at this level. Let me ask you, going into this year, did you think that LT was going to be this impactful for the Crimson Tide? Sound off inside the comment box. As news happens, we got you covered right here on Bama Football on YouTube. I just wanted to send a little bit of love to LT, man. The defensive players, I feel, don't get enough love. So we definitely want to give credit where credit is due. Kyle Henderson, Bama Football on YouTube. You know what to do. Hit the thumbs up. We appreciate you guys more than you know.